Welcome to another episode of J Inclusive. Please share, like, comment, subscribe, and set your notifications on so you are alerted every time I upload. Noah, a successful TV producer, and his husband Wade, a music producer, are living in bliss as they prepare to welcome twins via surrogate. Alex, formerly the owner of an HIV clinic, now runs a vibrant drag club where he stars as the headlining queen, raising his adopted trans teen daughter, Olivia, with his longtime partner Trey. Meanwhile, Ricky proudly maintains his role as the group's unapologetic playboy, and Chance remains the voice of reason, though his relationship with Eddie shows cracks as the two explore unconventional ways to reignite their bedroom spark. As the drama unfolds, viewers are left questioning the mysterious absence of Eddie's daughter. As the movie opens up, Noah is just wrapping up the final episode of his hit zombie thriller series. Wade buys him a minivan so he can shift into stay-at-home dad mode, and soon Noah gets a call for the project of a lifetime. And even though no one explicitly mentions the proper name, the gig would be for someone referred to as Queen Bee. Wade lands a primo gig producing a record for 19-year-old rapper Two Tone. Noah and Wade interview a slew of prospective nannies and land on the one that isn't an idiot, but she happens to be so strict and thorough that she forces them to take care of two lifelike dolls that need to be fed and burped and inevitably cry like crazy. Meanwhile, Alex and Trey's daughter Olivia asks to move in with Noah and Wade for a while. After clashing with Alex and they oblige. Two Tone can't stay out of trouble with the law, thus threatening his record deal. So he moves in too, so Wade can watch over him. Ricky seems to be troubled by something, reluctant to share it. Later on, we find out he has cancer. Chance catches the eye of a waiter at Alex's drag club. He eventually brings the waiter back home for a cuckold session with his husband Eddie. While the experience starts off rocky, Chance lets go and enjoys himself, only for Eddie to call him a whore afterwards. Viewers are left confused, since Eddie is the one who suggested the sexual experience. Viewers don't initially realize that in this sex scene, Eddie is a fixture of Chance's imagination, as he has passed away. As the movie commences, Noah and Wade are about to have a threesome with a male dancer who randomly just so happens to be a nanny, but the moment is interrupted as their surrogate gives birth to triplets, and the movie ends, hinting at more to come. Most fans of the series seem to enjoy the nostalgia and catching up with old characters who made them feel seen when the series debuted on Logo in 2005 and made history as the first television series to center the lives and loves of black gay men. However, critics weren't as kind when it came to the latest installment. One stated, perhaps in an attempt to reflect the times, there are some clumsy comments in the new movie that feel out of step with where audiences are now. There's a younger character who, while hooking up with Chance, says compliments to the chef, "I love tossing salad." The statement felt corny and not true to life. Then there's the storyline between Alex and his daughter, who feels Alex's drag queen lifestyle is detrimental to her psychological and emotional progress as a young trans woman. And finally, the questionable and frankly unnecessary inclusion of rapper Kaya's music during one of the film's dance numbers. Considering her years-long, very public feud with media personality T.S. Madison, marked by blatant homophobia and transphobia, and given that T.S. Madison also appears in the film, I can't help but question the message this sends to our community. Another critic wrote Ian Polk duct tapes together an odd mishmash of tones. Conflicts rooted in heavy-duty subject matter, death, illness, parenthood, etc., tend towards simplistic resolutions, as dictated by the movie's sitcom roots. He also stretches the show's broadly comic boundaries to include rampant shirtlessness, moany-groany sex scenes, and edgy jokes, while awkwardly attempting to balance earnestness with camp. Meanwhile, it's all shot like it's 2005, and we're still contemplating whether we should ditch the old tube TV for one of those fancy flat screens. All of this is more likely to alienate newcomers and be overlooked by Noah's Ark fans who are just happy to catch up with their favorite characters and spend a little more time with them. That's why projects like this exist, to stoke nostalgia while showing us who these people have become in the last decade or two. One thing Noah and Co. could do is learn to communicate better with their respective partners, which is a recurring theme in the movie. But if they didn't, there might not be enough conflict to sustain 84 minutes. which is to say, these characters could be stronger, but at least they're relatable and therefore easy to forgive for their shortcomings and relative shallowness. Score 1 for LGBTQ representation, but deduct 1 for tonal inconsistency and dumb doll-based humor. For me, this movie lacked depth and felt more like a combination of several 30-minute episodes, as opposed to an actual movie. And halfway through, I wondered what I was watching and why I was even watching it. Confusing plots, the unnecessary musical numbers, random and unnecessary celeb cameos, the lack of story development for the series' first trans character, and rehashed ideas like Wade watching over Two-Tone, which is reminiscent of season 2 storyline with Baby Gat and Noah. It just fell flat. Two-Tone gets locked up, and Noah is able to bail him out with a shirt. Seriously? It was great to see these characters again and feel the nostalgia. But as a black gay man who is close to the age of these characters, someone who knows people like this in real life, black queer lives are a lot more complex than what's being presented, and I was hoping that would be represented. When you compare this series to Pose, where every episode offered laughs, tears, a sense of black LGBT history, and Pose showcased our experiences as we navigate a heteronormative world outside of the queer bubble that doesn't always accept us, the lack of depth in this movie and the series becomes apparent. All in all, if you are a fan of lighthearted movies that don't require too much brain power, you will be entertained. But if you're someone who enjoys a plot with twists and turns, I would say still watch the movie, as representation does matter. But we must require more from those who are presenting our black queer stories.
Remember love.